Looking toward the farm business of the future. In part 1, Brandon gives you his perspective. In this section, I will share how I ran my companies and how I view the micro shifts necessary for building a strong business while maintaining your sanity. Innovative farm business owners recognize the need to create new markets. These innovators have identified what keeps buyers from their farm's offerings by listening to their market and finding new ways to get their produce to other potential markets. This part of the book is not necessarily a how to start a business section, but more of a market deep dive to develop the marketing plan to your business plan. To have a business plan without greater market share and marketing targets is setting yourself up for disappointment. A business plan outlines what you want. A marketing plan outlines who has the cash to buy from a business like yours and why. Focus on your strengths and delegate your bottlenecks. Nobody expects you as a business owner to know or do everything. As a small farm, you probably do it all anyway. Farmers are a tough bunch of strong-minded people, but you cannot do everything effectively if you have 10 things going all at once. Believe me, I know what it's like to have a bunch of irons in the fire. My best advice is to schedule your activities in batches. Some of the best advice I ever relied on is to think of your business in 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1, administration. Quadrant 2, marketing and public relations. Quadrant 3, sales. And Quadrant 4 is a thing or activity that makes the produce or harvest, whatever makes the money. Take special note on how each of the following examples differ, contrast, and complement each other. Quadrant 1, administration. Activities including paperwork, data entry, tracking, taxes, banking, regulatory compliance, insurance, bill paying, hiring, payroll, ordering supplies, transportation and shipping, meeting with the market managers, running errands, developing scalable processes, and operational procedures. You know, all that crap you got into farming to avoid. Quadrant 2, marketing and public relations. Marketing handles social media management, market research, creative work like photography, video, and audio, ad copy, ad buys, targeting ads, keywords, email marketing, direct mail, newsletters, and company outreach and representation. The public relations side handles networking, civic events and meetup attendance, interviews, being the company spokesman, branding, company culture, and company awareness. Normally, these two, marketing and public relations, would be separate categories. But knowing most small operations are condensing time and duties, we have combined PR and marketing under one hat. Public relations will handle networking with media. Public relations will strategize and guide interviews, help get earned media, and company awareness through media relations. Earned media is getting featured in a media outlet without paying for advertising. Knowing who covers food, lifestyle, agriculture, and social stories helps when getting your story told by a news outlet, magazine, or TV program. And in today's world, social media influencers and bloggers. Public relations also reviews your branding and makes sure your message is going to the right audience as intended. Beyond market research, a PR firm will help with tracking players of interest within your space. Traditional tracking was meant to watch the competition. I would rather you look at it as a way to find people to work and network with. Public relations also helps with contingency plans. How will your company respond to things like E. coli outbreaks where people are tricked into fearing all produce? How will you as a company represent your farm with the view of a local authority and expert? What is the public's perception of your company as well as the industry? Where are the opportunities to educate within those perceptions? In short, how can you be an industry ambassador that represents us all in a positive light? Quadrant 3, sales. Directly responding to customer or client inquiries and referrals. Talking to chefs, restaurant owners, shop, affiliate, or grocery stores for wholesale sales while building the relationships with your contacts to make and maintain sales growth. Switching from farmer to salesperson mode at the market and answering the phone when CSA signups are rolling in. Sales mode should follow through and close the sales that marketing sets up. Sometimes the ad copy is enough, but sometimes you need to give people a face, a name, or even permission to buy. Sales follows all the leads to the transaction and does it in a way that leaves both parties feeling like they made a great deal with a positive, repeatable outcome. Quadrant 4, labor, craft, and process. Whatever activities are involved to produce the farm's goods. We're talking seeding, transplanting, harvesting, washing, packing, transporting, data collection for admin use, tending to the animals, fixing the fences, integrated pest management, repairs, facility and grounds maintenance, cleaning, all of the physical tasks of bringing goods from the land to your buyers. This is the farming part of running a farm. How to implement administration, marketing and public relations, sales, and labor craft process. Vision. Having the vision to run your company means knowing from the start that your company will have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Most people, including myself, do not have an exit strategy. That includes building your business to sell or pass on to family, having retirement or nest egg goals or passive income goals, or just letting go and liquidating at a predetermined point of circumstances. Having sold my companies, I wish I had made a plan beforehand to help guide my decisions. Although no one can predict the future, having a guiding light will help you make all of the smaller decisions because you are already looking far into the distance. Deconstructing end goals and making an internal map to go from point A to point B is critical for long and short-term goals. If a short-term goal does not get you a step forward to your end goal, what are we doing? Distractions will come at you by the truckload, both real and imaginary. This is where having your personal board of directors and accountability partners can help you see through the fog. Another part of your vision is your why and your company mission statement. Your why in agriculture may differ from your financial success, and that alone is what we feel is the Achilles heel of farm businesses. There are so many social, ecological, and inherently giving benefits to agriculture in all forms that our why may not accurately mesh with making a profit. You have to make sure that making a profit becomes part of your head talk. Please do not be part of the camp that we see that, in quotation, does not want to take advantage of your clients. We see that wording frequently in farm group threads on social media. It is imprinting your value of your goods, not your client's value. After more experience, all of your costs to produce, administer, market, and sell will show that operating expenses are always more than you first think. Do not race to the bottom. We cannot stress this enough. Underpricing is detrimental to you, your business, your market, and the industry. Farm responsibly with the land, your client's safety, and your financial health. Have the vision to accomplish your goals by maintaining the ability to stay in business. Education. Initial and continued education is the keystone for every aspect of your business. We believe the right education is one you will actually do. If you intern, find a mentor, go to a conference, or buy a book and never read it, you have wasted time and resources. Take in as much as you can, adjust for your region and market, ask questions, get advice, and do a gut check with what you have learned. No one will have all the answers. Just like grade school, you will have different teachers and mentors for different aspects of your business. You will find that the range of expertise needed to scale a farm business operation is vast. You will also see the need to learn new technologies as time goes on. Sometimes this will take the form of a short course, a day workshop, a webinar, or a meetup with a friend. The point is to look for learning opportunities everywhere and absorb the message, even if you do not care for the platform. I have found incredible value even with premium courses through online education. You do not need a diploma or certificate of completion. You need quality information that you can immediately act on, taught in a manner in which you will absorb the information. Always vet the person before you make the purchase, and once you buy a course, see it through. Making these investments in yourself will pay dividends, but you have to do the work, finish the course, and find ways to implement the lessons and strategies into your business and market. You will find once you go down the self-education road that you will begin stacking these lessons into your own best practices of day-to-day operations and long-term planning. We are baffled when online discussion references a book and people say, "Is the book worth it?" If a book is priced at $25 and you get one piece of information that will give you the tools to make a change in your company that you can carry on the rest of your days, the trickle-down effect could be worth thousands. And do you really need another farm, business, marketing, or design book? I cannot tell you how many times I've heard the same message, multiple times from multiple people, and oftentimes from the same person before the message clicked. The more exposure you give yourself, the more chances you get to absorbing the message when you're ready for it. Our brains will function and absorb information differently at different times. It's up to you to notice how you respond to information. audible, text, screen, book, in person, and under what circumstances you learn best. Alone, in a group, online, reward-based, formal classroom, at your home, and even the time of day. This self-awareness and discipline is necessary for self-paced education, and you will have distractions. Learn to mitigate for your own success. Learning how to learn carries an importance that cannot be stated enough. This is not K through 12 forced education. This is you getting a little better every day, finding opportunities because you are driven. And the distractions will come in waves. The business, family obligations, employees, vendors, clients, self-doubt, and time and money constraints will all beg for your attention. Set aside time for yourself to absorb the information, and all of the above distractions will benefit from a better you. Planning. I really like the planning sessions Brandon and I do together. By working a year in advance, we can work on projects with time frames that allow each of us to work when we're at our best personal peak. The self-awareness we have as to how we work best and understanding where and how we differ makes for a great working relationship. When applied to your own farm, keep in mind the productivity patterns and motivations of your support staff and circle. For instance, Brandon is a very, very early riser. That is when his mind is working the best, usually after a workout. I like to ease into the day by still getting up early, but maintaining momentum as I warm up. Brandon's workouts are his motivation. My gym time is my reward. Because we know what is coming down the line, through mapped out deconstruction of our larger goals, we can work on those checkboxes. We are also able to take advantage of other opportunities as they come up because of this fluid schedule. Everyone at Bootstrap stays in their assigned lane, but we regularly have open communication. So we are all aware of each other's activities and can help, add feedback, and know when it's time to pass on a project. Early on, we all discussed the need to be honest and know that no one was going to get their feelings hurt during critiques and questions. Of course, especially with creative work, we sometimes disagree. But through these disagreements, we make things clearer for the people we are trying to reach as a company while cultivating our goals and culture. Just stay as open and honest as possible with regular check-ins. And you may be checking in with just yourself. Know your place, perform your assignments, and keep clients and company health paramount. This is where a company can revisit those long-term plans to reassess whether the current projects align with long-term goals. Delegation. In order to effectively run a great business, you have to focus on your strengths. You may be the best grower in 6 counties, but if you can't connect with customers because of your winning personality, we may have a problem. Hiring somebody to help you sell at the market means you can stay on the land and not deal with people. Do you still refuse to open a social media account? Hire somebody to meet your potential customers. You are not meeting your possible sales because you are out of your client's attention zone. You have to have a presence where your clients are. You have to entertain, educate, tell stories, and visually put yourself out there. If you would rather keep bees than post a status update, it might be time to hire out or delegate to a family member. You don't have to be the best, you just have to play the game. Or you might be more like I was, the networker, the media person, and the administration. After the farm and kitchen were set up, aside from recipes, I focused on putting systems into place to run on their own. I was no longer farming, but a farm owner. I was no longer in the kitchen daily, but handling the business. This also gave me the space needed when I joined Bootstrap Farmer. Find the people who round out both you and your business. Support them, and let them do what they do best with micro adjustments as needed. Developing habits. As you start stacking best habits while running your business, at times you can focus on specific segments, delegating assignments for short-term goals and keeping the ship pointed at your bigger goals. You will find the things you have learned through your self-education will clearly show where, when, and how to accomplish your goals. You will develop a supportive network that challenges and inspires you, and you will begin to see the interconnections that change makers all share. Your new daily habits should be mentally noted to take advantage of precise operational systems you're developing. You will notice you can get more done with less resistance. Cut what isn't working immediately. Never give a bad result or decision a second chance. Find the wins. Figure out why they worked, who they worked for, and how else it could have been better for them, and lean into it. Thicken your skin. We reference being tough a lot on Bootstrap Farmer Radio. Running a business where you are viewed by others as competition can be mentally tough. Ridiculous social media responses and people's vocalizations of what they would have done all come across your radar. Startup cost, the nonstop what's next in business, finicky clients, people who you know would benefit from a healthy diet but who pound Doritos by the family size, and passing fast food joints with long lines as people rage eat. These are all things that can and will get to you. Remain tough, knowing these ding-a-lings are not for you and vice versa. Know that the tax man, service fees, freight charges, repairs, pest pressure, payroll, damages, and operational cost will happen and increase on exactly the day the camel's back is fixing to break. Weaker people than you have fumbled their way through these growing pains. At least you have a plan in place. We have found that people suffer a lot from client questions and responses. Understand that however some of these people come across your initial message, the copy, the visuals, the brand may have connected just enough to allow them to question you. Maybe your copy needs work, but maybe the service is not for them. If you're creating a product to fill a hole in the market, it takes some time to aggregate your real tribe. Make and frequently update an FAQ sheet. Do not spend mental equity custom responding to every time kicker. Fire off that FAQ with your clear map of your company's who, what, where, when, why, and how. You will also need a thick skin when dealing with employees. Believe me when I say that the first time you question whether or not an employee is a good cultural fit for your company, it's the beginning of the end. I'm not a full believer in the hire slow, fire fast camp. I prefer gut checks with swift actions of retraining and documenting goals. Repercussions for incomplete tasks, attitude glitches, and representing your company in a negative light can all lead to parting of ways. And it's always better that it happens sooner rather than later. Get used to controlling confrontation. Your company culture can fluctuate fast, and it affects everyone, including your clients. Stop the bleeding quick. Being a leader means making tough decisions. Make sure the one making them is you, not the source of the problem. Do not be reactionary. Productivity ensures your staff is supported, properly trained, and a good fit. Being able to give and take in a tough world will free up a lot of brain power. The ability to not give a damn when somebody slights you or plays hardball, or when a client tries to treat your farmer's market like a flea market. Remember that you cannot let other people's attitudes, mind games, or their pure unawareness of their quirky bad attitudes get you down. You especially cannot allow people who will find fault in anything to get in your head's top track. Protect your mental state by defaulting to getting your work accomplished and allowing yourself not to be perfect, knowing you can't please everyone, and some people are just septic. Maintaining air traffic control on communications. We can absorb information from clients in two ways: active and passive listening and actions. Active listening, initiating one-on-one communications with clients in person, by the phone or email, on social threads, via direct message, or at the point of sale. Do not be afraid to ask questions about what people would like to see more of, where else they shop, or what they will do with your produce, and if they are pairing it with any other local foods. Passive listening to conversation people are having with each other at the market, supermarkets, while waiting in lines, and on online threads is super valuable. This eavesdropping may seem sketchy at first, but it is simply purposeful paying attention to customer habits and language. It is okay to go into groups that your ideal client is likely to frequent, like mom, fitness, or cooking groups on Facebook. Use the search box and read the problems and benefits other people experience with their food and sourcing. One of my favorite lines in the movies is from Up in the Air. Anna Kendrick tells George Clooney his profiling of Asians while traveling is racist, to which George replies, "I'm like my mother. I stereotype. It's faster." Efficient market research demands stereotyping. Of course, not all people fit into boxes, and there is overlap. In time, you will be able to see efficiently and accurately categorize the people who buy from you and their motivations. This will help in your ad copy, company tone, and how you interact with your clients empathetically while staying true to yourself. On the flip side, your air traffic control within your organization must be clear, accurate, and efficient. Communications with family business members, employees, vendors, and management will most likely take a while to come into their own efficiencies. Pay close attention to how your people react to messages. Do people keep their phone on them to answer calls, texts, or emails faster? Do they check their clipboard or other internal messaging systems in their farm? Do they respond better at certain times of the day? Are you interrupting workflow? Do they use the checklist you make when getting ready to seed, transplant, harvest, and load up as well as for paperwork. If not, the system is broken. Find the balance between over-communication and not giving enough clear instruction. I encourage you to take a look at Scrum Board, on which projects can be posted and delegated in a common space or online portal. Apps and programs like Evernote, Slack, and Google Docs have all been helpful for my farm, landscaping company, various boards and projects I've worked with, and the Bootstrap farmer. Adding layers to existing infrastructure and blue ocean opportunities. By paying attention to the market, then your specific market, you can stay ahead of and add layers to trends as you roll with the marketing while adding value. There is always a way to add benefits to a product or service to encourage choosing your company over another farm. Put yourself in your client's shoes and go deep in understanding their challenges and motivations. By paying attention to your client's communication and keeping your company's workflow and information process efficient, you can pivot fast with changes in market influences. There's always a new diet, health guru, contamination scare, headline, and season to introduce yourself as the voice of small ag for your cultivated clients. Use your public relations hat to guide your why as you steer the ship to your end goal as these trends are navigated. Blue ocean theory explains that there is always a way to add layers or to combine industries, services, products, or to create a new line or add existing businesses. Farmers naturally operate like this, with often overlapping activities like selling at farmers markets, operating CSAs, and selling to chefs at the same time. Farmers also do things like plant and harvest seasonally, can, preserve, make soap, keep bees, bake, make flower arrangements, and run a small logistical empire. This all leads to a pretty significant advantage to farmers like you. There is a loud belief in agriculture that farming is so difficult that people should simply stick to that. And look, in no way are we taking away from the challenges, toll, and time demands of farming. However, this is where you have the opportunity to disrupt your local food economy. You can either tell yourself something isn't possible or be influenced by people who tell you it is impossible because they cannot do something. Or you can look to farmers out there who are adding to their operations to meet their clients where their cash and goods exchange. Removing barriers. A sure way to meet those clients and create regular raving fans of your business first, and all of the ancillary good that comes with supporting local, sustainable, healthy food second, is to solve a problem and become an essential part of your client's daily life. If a 3-meal-a-day routine is generally practiced, we have 21 opportunities a week times the number of people in a household and friends with whom meals are shared to impact the thoughts and intake of local food. This can be subconsciously or direct. Primary influence examples: any ready-to-eat meal or snack, any product from your farm like honey, eggs, dairy, proteins, clothing, garnish, flowers, herbs, and produce, and activities like pop-ups, farm-to-table events, farmers markets events, collaborations, tours, and tastings all directly interact with our clients. Secondary influence examples: are you influencing your client's daily routine? Are they following your recipes? Are they purchasing from other businesses you are recommending? Are you connecting or interacting on your social and email feeds? Are you entertaining, explaining, and training people on how you are and how they can be part of their local agricultural eco-economy system? Are you doing so in ways that will keep people engaged without shaming them on their own food choices? If you are eating chocolate, drinking coffee, or wearing clothes you didn't make from your sheep and loom, who are you to talk down to anyone who has made different lifestyle choices? So if we are to remove the barriers, we can start with the easy stuff. Never, ever, ever make it difficult for somebody to pay you. I don't really want to go down the why you should take credit cards road again, and we believe those reading this book are likely pre-qualified to accept this fact. Have an online portal. Give people a way to easily see when and where you will be set up on market day with available times. Are you giving them a reason to share your post, announcements, customer experience beyond the average market visit? Do your clients get local food that takes care of the emotional connections to farmers as well as product and consumable portions that they will use up within their average week? Studies by Simon Huntley of the CSA management tool Harvey has proven one reason people opt out of CSA programs is the larger portion sizes that make people feel like they are wasting food. If people go out of their way to directly trade with a farmer, they tend to be the types of people who would be aware of and sensitive to food waste. We have found that the same farmers tend to undervalue their crops to give away extra or surplus with a share or farmer's market purchase. This devalues your crop, other farmers' crops, and public perception of the true value as well. If people are receiving quantities larger than they consume within a harvest week, they may not feel compelled to come to the market the following week. This hurts you and your market as a whole. If the average market shopper trades with only 3 or 4 vendors per visit, at what point does the scale tip of not being worth the drive, shopping time, and hassle of going to pick up just a couple of items? Most likely they will restock at a larger grocery store in addition to the market. Is going for 1 or 2 items worth it when people are making time allocation decisions with a tight weekend schedule? Consider packaging and portion sizes carefully, and remember, if they want more, the cost per unit should be more profitable in smaller sizes, not unlike single-serve items anywhere else. If you're fighting people on price, you may be in the wrong market with the wrong offerings. You should be looking for motivated buyers who value quality, relationships, and tailored service and products well before the value comparison from another source. Actively look for ways to eliminate friction between you, the client, and a smooth transaction. Any tech, courtesy, or outreach you can do to let your buyers know that you have taken their needs into consideration is going to cement you into a permanent place in their routine and homes. Providing additional post-sale value is also important. One reason we bring up hospitality so often is because it projects to your client that you care and are prepared to handle their needs. Having answers ready to go, links to in-house online resources like recipes, other farm partners, lifestyle design around your farm's product are the extra steps most farmers do not take. If you're servicing restaurants and chefs, think of how you can add value for them. Highlighting them on social helps them to share to their followers that they in fact do support local food and local economy and have great taste in their ingredient selections. If you're selling to restaurants, it's a good idea to eat there at least once a year. At least. Everyone within our network who does so is most often treated very well when they know you are coming in. They want to share your collaborations with you. It'll help your farm, planning decisions, understanding, and social equity with your clients as you support those who support you. Sending out referrals to restaurants is another thing they would consider valuable. If anyone has any doubt as to whether this works, simply visit Fresh Impact Farms in Arlington, Virginia, and Profound Farms in the Dallas-Fort Worth area on social media and see how they elevate their restaurant clients. Networking. There is flat out no better thing you can do to build your business than to network your way into the markets you care about and want to service. If you're to do anything great in life, you must be of service. By inserting yourself into the conversations that you find interesting with interesting people in a way that you can add positive forward motion, you will automatically get earlier insights, deeper connections, and a more resilient business as you serve those in your market. If you go into networking solely to make money, you will fail. The fact is, everyone needs and wants to make money to grow their business. But if you do not love what you do enough to be willing to give back and to earn your dues within an ecosystem, which can be industry or your sales market, you are likely to be ill-received. People who network with intent can get very close. Some relations are elastic and ebb and flow over time as people move on to other professional tracks. But as people get excited in early stage business development, there is a lot of nuances that can make a big difference on your first impression. Going for an ask early on, however small, can put people off unless there is a pretty significant upside. Most people you might need to ask have done their time, and most likely are very busy. There are other expectations. As we said, you have to gut check to see if you have found a mutually equal opportunity. And look, we're not talking about selling to clients here. We're talking about connections that will help you get into the places you will need to be in your business. People can refer you to another service professional, a civic organization, a mentor, another farm, or market asset, and potential opportunities for revenue streams in a roundabout way. Networking is a long-tail game that has no end. You start slow, learn etiquette along the way, and over time find out how a market and how small and interconnected this agricultural world really is. There may be some inter-industry dividing lines among growing methods, but when pressed for an answer, everyone wants to do the same thing, to grow great food responsibly for their neighbors. With networking, remember the end goal and the bigger battles at play. Infighting among small agricultural only adds headlines to the media and further confuses the public. Get involved in conversations at conferences, meetups, casual gatherings, extension workshops, educational workshops, civic meetings, and other community groups. Online forums and groups can be very beneficial if you can take the info for what it's worth and consider the source. Try to stay away from negative groups that have people with victim mentalities and limited abundant mindsets. Choosing the right group to network with is as important as networking itself. Surround yourself with people who get things done and have a great follow-through. Network to be inspired and to add to a group. Being the only light will drain your batteries pretty quick. You can organize meetups for clients, like educational clinics about your farm and methods, with a tour followed by a sign-up at the end. You can host a meetup with other progressive market vendors who want to grow the market together. If you move on to the next phase of networking, you could host a meetup to explore co-ecosystem partners like chefs, restaurants, yoga studios, wellness programs, local small business networks, gyms, foodie-driven events, sustainability and ecology, and similar companies that seem to make sense as partners. One thing to note, if networking events that you want to attend do not exist, do not be intimidated. Throw a meetup over your own. If you wait for other people to take charge, you might be waiting forever. Our clients. As people live their lives, they will most likely shift how and why they eat. They will also be overlapping circles and family dynamics that will play into how people form relationships with food. Different generations and palates, even within the same households, will vary drastically as people ebb in and out of food discovery, health issues, and diet trends. Social eaters. We love that this can go down a couple of different roads. People who like to host get-togethers, cocktail parties, potlucks, backyard barbecues, and formal dinners. Bringing family, friends, coworkers, and neighbors together around food has many benefits. Social eaters pride themselves in their cooking, ingredient selection, their gardens, their awareness, and knowing their farmers and local chefs. When people care about hosting guests in their home, they tend to be mindful of the best that local food has to offer. They want to include your products for their gatherings and also for daily life and gift-giving opportunities. These culinary socialites are well-connected, very vocal, and carry weight across many circles and help spread word about their favorite farmer. There are local influencers that can make or break a small business. Thankfully, these people, because of their gregarious nature, are open, easily accessible, and easily willing to try new things. Their social footprint and connections, as well as trusted advice, can go locally viral to the right people. Giving them early access and sneak peeks plays to everyone's desire to get in on something early and gives them a nod as somebody special. Do not be fake about showing them attention. Don't be pushy. Referrals help. Sincerity helps. But pushy, inauthentic flattery will fall into their bullshit detector radar fast. Often, our local influencer home chefs are also among those who socialize in public at the best and the newest, most highly rated establishments. They know the maitre d', the bartender, the bar backs, and the waitstaff by name. They know the name of the chef and keep up with both the restaurant and its extra events. They entertain and have date night regularly. They tend to seal their business deals over great food and beverage. They know other purveyors, business people, and journalists, and care about fine food as well as sustainability, ecology, and the nuances of seasonal crops. People who love food, from the best greasy burger in town, the best fine dining, and the most unique cocktail programs, to simple, on-the-farm, farm-to-table dinners, may have a vested interest in supporting farmers. We are in a time where farming is looked at as a craft. There are farmers who do not believe this way, but we have seen these actions firsthand over and over again while breaking bread. As part of your market research, pay very close attention to what local chefs are doing, how they are all connected, the events that their supporters attend, and what journalists cover these stories, and plug yourself into the conversation. Again, not in a scammy way. You care about your farm craft, and so do they. You do not have to go into this network gunning down the hard sell. Go in and simply join the conversation. They will ask what you do. Play it cool, state facts, underdeliver yourself a bit, and relax. These people go to events to have fun. You should do the same. Play the long game for the long payout. But don't think of networking as transactional. People can see through it. They don't appreciate it, and you will get frozen out. Fly casual. Eco-eaters. People are well aware of our impact on the earth. They are also at a loss as to how to help, beyond voting and recycling. Evidence supports that agriculture deeply impacts the planet, wildlife, their kids, and our collective health. The eco-eaters will be way into your story, your methods, and your why. Having these scripts down will help move your products if you align with their values. If you happen to grow using a method that they do not agree with, the conversation can get weird and abrasive pretty quick. You have two choices. Bang your head against the wall trying to convince someone their beliefs do not match yours for a host of reasons, or smile and nod as quick as you can so you can get back to servicing the right clients for your business. All methods of growing have perceived positives and negatives if somebody tries hard enough. All methods can help the planet in different ways. Be yourself, grow safely, run an ethical business, and mind your own. You will attract your buyers because of your market research and farm design. When everything falls into place with your farm, by actually doing work to make the ecosystem better, we can get down to the business of serving eco-conscious shoppers. Reducing food miles, using reusable containers, dedicating parts of your farm for wildlife recovery, heritage seed preservation, and no waste resources for your buyers, reclaiming urban lots and buildings, and water conservation. There are a lot of opportunities to make a difference in this segment. Educate your community and take back lost farmland. Don't let anyone detract from your progress. Health conscious. It is difficult to quantify how large the health industry is. Preventative care, post-injury, social aspects, clubs, fitness, weight loss, and sports all play a role in the relationship healthy lifestyle-driven people have with their food and sourcing. All of these categories are layered with subcategories and niches that claim to be the answer to human health. No matter if people are paleo, vegan, vegetarian, or pescatarian, or if they treat food as fuel, use dessert as a reward, or salty food as a coping mechanism, people have significant emotional investment in and deep-seated beliefs about food. Can you play a role in how they view food, where they source it, how it is grown, stored, prepped, and prepared? Can you access the gyms, spas, rehabilitation centers, doctors' offices, clinics, treatment studios, treatment programs, yoga studios, and CrossFit boxes to tap new and diverse segments? Most fad diets can have a decent shelf life, and many are plant-based. But when a protein component is a factor, the farmer connection is almost a guaranteed client builder. So as long as you stay on top of trends and can speak the language, you prove you are their go-to expert source. Newly emancipated. I venture to speculate this category could have a lot of growth potential. As people graduate high school and move out on their own, the exposure to global flavors along with new friends' habits can influence those who for the first time are making their food choices unsupervised and without critique. You do not have to leave your living room to do this kind of market research. Look up any medium to large size campus in any city, and you will notice a ring of food activity in and around campus borders. While the freshman 15 will always be a reality for some, we have seen evidence that once people get away from what may be a stagnant diet, they are naturally interested in unfamiliar foods that new friends and housemates grew up on. With the diversity of college campuses increasing, a new mix of fusion presents itself. More than likely, introduction to non-American diets may be the first exposure some people have to plant-based, vegan, vegetarian, and other diets. The increase of Asian, Mediterranean, and South American cuisine are giving the American diet a range of new options beyond the overly fat and salty saturated versions most of us grew up on. Thankfully, as new generations are coming up, there are segments actively looking for cleaner and healthier alternatives. While this can be highly regional, we ask you to explore options available to you, especially in younger markets within proximity of higher learning institutions and a vibrant outdoor scene. Life-changing events. People going through a life-changing event are in pattern interrupt. All of their habits are in flux because everything around them is changing. If you find out you or your spouse are pregnant, have recently been diagnosed with a life-changing illness, recently lost a loved one, changed jobs, or relocated, your entire world may have shifted so much that a new outlook on life or health may be enough to push to reinvest into the quality of your food. Be mindful of showing sensitivity to these kinds of situations. Thankfully, we have never met a farmer who doesn't want to help people. In that regard, keeping up to date with both traditional healing and the latest trends in medicine might be worth the effort. So when people engage you on those topics, you're knowledgeable. And if you need to do some research, offer to get back with them, and then do it. This is where you can really make a difference and be of service to someone going through a life event. Notice when a client may be going through something. It doesn't have to be all business. Be a neighbor. Families in the grind. Your everyday client will most likely be astonishingly busy. Being empathetic and respectful of their time is crucial. Today's families seem to leapfrog from one thing to the next, constantly having to outdo the last social engagement. Some of these people may be the ones invited by a social eaters event with no time or skill to cook. Be their resource for a quick pickup of extraordinary food. Great meals with great ingredients will not happen some nights between work, school, the parental taxi service, after-school obligations, birthday parties, getting in exercise, and running weekend errands. Be their resource for easy, healthy meals. Be able to communicate on their chosen device and relate to their needs. Price is no barrier for this category if you can give them some time back. Why clients buy. Demographics of buyers are pretty straightforward. Age, address, gender, ethnicity, education level, job position, income, and marital status all play a role in identifying your target market. Geographic inputs can determine travel time, food miles, price points, etc., and are also something you cannot readily change but may have some leverage if you are still in the planning phases of your farm. Psychographs are enhanced metrics that build on your population's demographic and geographic opportunities to help you find your tribe of buyers. These psychographic emotional traits can trend and descend in importance. They are also likely affected by social class, values, fears, and cultural attitudes, lifestyle choices, affinity towards quality, frugality, handiness, views on time, family style, politics, adaptability towards tech, health, views on ecological problems, and career paths all play a role in why people do or do not buy a product or service or invest in a company brand. As people move in and out of various life stages and deal with changes, these psychographic triggers will shift. People in flux will be more open to make changes than those who are ingrained in behavior you try to disrupt. For instance, new mothers are open to change because they are going through a major change in their lives. Dive deeper, and the same person may have totally different views when expecting with a second child because their life changes have already been experienced. And what about the young guy that just got diagnosed with cancer and has young children? The catalyst for major and rapid lifestyle changes opens up a lot of new possibilities for exercise, clean eating, and carefully sourced food, not only to that person, but his entire family as well. People who are moving, having milestone birthdays, or going through family and home changes, once primed, can be more accepting of overall change when they have a trusted source for helping them fit healthy food into their daily lives. They may come in and out of diets and seasons, but a steady touch point to their food will assure them that no matter what changes are happening in their life, they have a personal farmer looking out for them. As for the people who already fit your ideal client profile and who are not your clients, how do you get them to pattern interrupt to include you in their patterns? Will you be better, cheaper, faster, more convenient, easier to buy, or will you have built a better relationship? Will you be an addition to their pattern or a replacement for another company's product or service? If you are replacing, how will your client view that? And will their feelings of loyalty be a hurdle they will need to overcome? If so, is there a way to frame your new product so they see it as a much better option? If you can fit comfortably within and relate to people's values and major motivators, you may have a clear advantage. Convenience buyers and your clientele. Convenience buyers and your clientele. At its core, selling people back their time is a trend on a perennial uptick these last few decades, and it is only further ramping up as new tech collides with the return to real food. Removing steps from seed to mouth has never been a more important driver than now. This isn't a food trend, this is a living trend that is gaining rapid acceptance at scale. Uber, Airbnb, HelloFresh, Blue Apron, ClearMe, Instagram, Snapchat, travel apps, fast food apps, coffee shop reward programs, news, scheduling, FaceTime, faster, quicker, now, right damn now, when people want it, where they want it, how they want it, with rewards, gamification, line skipping, and VIP status. Economic power lies in the masses who want status symbol meals and busy work in between busy work and social commitments. Diets will always be a factor, and fresh produce, simple sourcing, and brand story can all have major leverage in today's world if you're willing to play that game. Quaint is not going to cut it anymore. You have to be a great farmer and a great visual storyteller. If you are not ready to tell your story, somebody else will step in and convinces your clients that they are the answer. The script? Here is how we are just like you. Here is how we are going to bring you the best, the easiest way possible, and repeat. Today's farmers are going to seed, transplant, harvest, wash, process, deliver, automatically charge, add on complementary sales, entertain, educate, connect with other like-minded people and businesses, be a resource, a trusted advisor, and an industry spokesperson to media and journalists. Not much farming there, is it? The convenience game is played by adding layers onto farming. The one with the most layers can command the highest price and margins. Beyond a certain price point, convenience goes beyond a pricing strategy and becomes a status hierarchy. Having the right product at the right price at the right time in front of the right people is not an accident. It is a curated client list crafted by your farm's media team, which for most of us might be an army of one. The message has to go out to the right people on the right channel to clearly explain why, when, how, and what you're selling, and how that will make their life better and easier. Here's the thing. You love farming. You know in order to layer up on margin and profit, you are also adding to your workload. You are adding to your initial investment. You are also niching down to a specific clientele that most likely isn't what you envisioned when you started to farm. So how will you reconcile your desire to make a living germinating and growing seeds to harvest and the possibility of catering to a market that may not reflect your values or understand your reason to farm? When you are called into a profession that is centered around health, simplicity, getting back to nature, and clean eating and living, it may be difficult at times to balance that life with catering to plugged-in, fast-paced, and often misinformed buyers. We want to serve people like us, but people like us often grow their own food, are thrifty, and know their way around the kitchen. Pain points around food for people like us may not reflect the type of monetary value add we need and want. Finding a need to fill within your market may not be difficult if you're solving your own pain points. But how big is that market? Do people have a recurring need for your type of farm products or services? Or will your needs be taken care of by a byproduct of your farm's new goal of servicing people who have a specialized offering on a regular basis year-round? In the past, something as simple as changing my packaging to smaller and more consumable meals at our farmers market meant people were not looking into their refrigerators and seeing plenty of leftovers from the past week's market visit. When sizes went down, margins went up, and the need to return to see us increased. Convenience items are often undersized. Think of items at the airport or gas station. Single servings, single doses of medicine, single rows of bathroom tissue, and the entire scam of airport snacks is predicated upon price per ounce items, but paying that is a calculated expense when traveling, and that is the mindset you're looking for. Who is looking at your item as a necessary expense when serving healthy, local food, done for you, ready-to-eat food items, or a garden-to-go item? Who has pre-budgeted for the convenience and why? Is it a repeatable weekly need most of the year? Leave the Costco buyers behind. Find the people who value boutique pricey items and are willing to pay for the social advantage of having a local, healthy, and delicious meal. Pair these offerings with complementary items for larger per-ticket transactions. The higher your average ticket, the fewer people you will have to market to and service. Feeding local does not mean feeding the entire world, unless you are building a national brand, but for the most of us, you just might find your work-life balance lies in repeatable sales to a small slice of the pie. Your true fans will support you every chance they can if you provide a consistent service and make a seamless transaction with as little friction to their daily routine as possible. This can mean becoming part of their weekly routine by reducing stressors in their life. Convenience means when they want it, where they want it. Distribution will be a larger hurdle to jump than a pricing war. Getting goods from point A to point B often requires refrigeration and special vehicles. This means extra capital and variable expenses, maintenance, traffic, time, taxes, tolls, and packaging. You get through all that, and now you're dealing with other people's schedules, access, and refrigeration concerns. Whether you're doing market deliveries, CSA pickups or drop-offs, or taking goods to a wholesale account, this extra step of delivery and transportation cannot be overlooked. Unfortunately, the true costs, routing, and day-to-day expenses are often severely overlooked during the initial business planning and subsequent expansions. In the end, a convenience component can be discovered by your own wants and needs, but should be conceptually honed by an extensive market research. Getting a delivery or attending a pickup is a pretty blanket statement. Get the who, what, when, why, and how to make sure you are not only servicing your clients, but working within a systems framework that you can pull off. Figure these things out when writing on paper, not paper cash. I once read this question posted on a farming group on Facebook. At what sales point should I start accepting credit cards? I would say be ready to accept a credit card during market research in the form of early bird and VIP access pre-sales. If something goes haywire, you can always refund the money. But the act of a transaction is a much-needed validation that you are onto something. These early adopters will pay for the right goods or services. Don't believe me? Look at any startup funding crowdsourcing platforms. These routinely get funded by early fans of a product or company and can take well over a year or two to see a return. People want to be in early on something. It gives them, and you should encourage it, a reason to brag to their friends that they were quick to spot the hot new thing. There is no excuse for not accepting credit cards. Do not ever make it hard for people to pay you. I will take almost anything, even bartering, if it makes sense. Transaction fees are paid for in larger ticket items and recoup lost sales. No need to beat this dead horse anymore. If you are reading this book this far, we are going to believe you have already come to terms with this issue. We believe the next great credit card debate between hobbyists and the pros will be web portals. Brandon's Craven Local Food Market and My Victory Lunch Club operated solely through online portals and automatic payments. A study by the Center of Generational Kinetics found that 65% of Generation Z are on their phones after midnight, a few times a week, and that 73% follow brands on social media. Similar to losing sales by not accepting credit cards is not having a 24-hour sales force via a social media and website link. Another fun fact, Generation Z likes to read at least 3 reviews before buying. This could be from Facebook reviews, testimonials on your landing page, and search engine reviews. A well-run media strategy, marketing, with an easy-to-read and visually compelling website, sales, acts as our best employees, working nonstop all day and night, 365 days a year. Your FAQ section can answer most of the questions people would normally call about, and the decision to buy will strike people at all hours of the night. I cannot tell you what a great feeling it is to wake up and have a new subscription signups in your inbox and money in your account from nocturnal transactions. Offering people the convenience of making purchases online, day or night, gives you a major advantage over those phone-only salespeople, allowing you to collect the clients they'll miss. It will give you nights and weekends to spend with your family, on the farm and business projects, networking, or recharging. Let technology do some of the heavy lifting. The new farmer on the new farm. Farmers can come from anywhere today. Thankfully, we still have rural farmers coming into the industry from family farms and multi-generational farmers introducing ag tech, marketing, added value products, web integration, and business management into the homestead. We are taking an ingrained business-savvy, zero-waste mindset that our ancestors naturally had and incorporating it into an economy built on interconnections and disposable goods. We are finding ways to put higher values on historically cheap food by celebrating our craft, combining our goods with other industries, and finding new ways to serve our supporters from multiple angles. We are talking to each other in social media and blending international and regional taste. We are extending and adding the season's harvest with protected culture and technology like sensors, data management, and LED lighting, and atmospheric supplementation. We are creating pollinator habitats and practicing better soil management while maintaining better business practices. With the influx of new farmers coming from other lifestyles and industries, we are also breaking a lot of bad habits. The mindset of "we have always done it this way" attitude is being shifted by questioning limitless information. We are an industry of specialized farming. We are market gardeners, indoor growers, edible flower specialists, mycologist experts, heritage breed stewards, whole animal practitioners, wine and spirit makers, foragers, fermentation experts, bath and body care specialists, bakers, canners, preservers, mixologists, homesteaders, hemp growers, and thought leaders. Some of you are bringing expertise in technology, business management, engineering, accounting, medicine, machine skill and military strategy, and efficiencies to agriculture. The industry is brought along for the celebrity chef, reality TV, craft beer, farm stable, craft beverage, and essential oil and home remedy ride that enhances health and local food. With everything having a season and cycle, we are learning to spot trends and trendsetters faster and make the necessary adjustments in business operations to stay relevant. We are working within an ecosystem of other agricultural producers, chefs, market shoppers, local influencers, and social and mainstream media to make a better environment for everyone. The economic advantage to interconnection is becoming more and more relevant. Strong farmers markets with diverse offerings means bigger and happier buying crowds. Better food hubs and collaborations between farmers and restaurants mean better food and economics at a regional level. The connections farms and chefs have with their industry friends means a national push toward creative agriculture and celebration of our efforts by trendsetters in culinary arts. Integrating agriculture and internet possibilities means easier commerce for people operating solely on the web and with monetary transactions in a cashless society. We can look at our farm's output and financial data in seconds rather than by guesswork. We can keep up with the industry partners and see, much earlier, how implementing legislation may impede progress so we can do something about it. We can vote for people who understand that our food system, from top to bottom, is economically codependent on all farmers. We're also using the internet for a wide variety of educational opportunities for farming. We are making up for where other educational resources have let agriculture down in the past with highly specialized and open crowdsourced resources. As we progress with AgTech, we foresee movement towards a circular economy where smart buildings and cities will tap the agricultural industry for fused integration of edible plant life within the steel and glass. Recirculated resources will be expelled only to be recaptured and reused to feed plants and fuel inhabitants. Automation will make farms more manageable while increasing jobs in business administration, coding, engineering, maintenance, compliance, and quality control. This will lead to an integration of urban farming and farm professionals into smart cities. These changes in farming specialization will open up more and more skilled jobs in agriculture while still allowing for traditional farming. Efficiency can help keep produce cost within the reach of all economic levels, while specialization of crops can command top dollar from demanding clients. The elasticity of economic swings coupled with ecological changes will always provide a need for farmers working efficiently. It's hard for us to see so many possibilities without being encouraged by the sheer volume of people across all economic segments needing to be fed. There is truly room and need for all types of farmers and farming. The new farm skill sets. In this next section, we are specifically talking about your operation, so we will say you and your a lot. So imagine your operation within these frameworks. We are operating a high-tech driven economy. We are moving closer and closer to a one-touch on-demand society. We are being instantly gratified with better and better quality and more choices. Your farming profession will rely on your ability to track, read, and flow with market changes while remaining consistent in your quality and service expectations. Your skills in story branding, visual arts, using culinary techniques and styles, online marketplace design, influencer networking, guerrilla marketing, employee management, finance, regulations, logistics, and so much more will be a part of your farm. You will also need mental toughness to persevere through the long days doing actual farm work, longer days selling, long nights setting up market campaigns, and longer nights balancing the books. You will need to be tough in the midst of weird online comments, strange emails from clients, uncalled for reviews, and negative people complaining on price, size, and how you choose to live your life. Your adoption of a possibility mindset and language redirecting will be a lot of worthwhile work. The talk track in our head determines our outcome. Positive minds, surrounded by positive people working towards a better outcome, will emerge as leaders of their community, region, and industry. The desire to learn something new and strive for diverse self-improvement will not only help you and your network, but also the people who will follow the legacy you build. You will be tasked to think outside the box and make multiple connections. The business will be a series of chess moves to get you to your goals. Your goals may be simple, but setting processes in place and keeping them that way may become more complex than you think. As you do better and better work, the demand on you and your business will increase. You will be faced with opportunities and challenges none of us can conceive at this point. Knowing they will come will help you prepare for their eventual arrival. Will you take the opportunity, thus creating more work, or will your goals remain blissfully static? We want your success because we are devoting our lives to this industry, and we want to work with people who will help us all move forward. Farm foreclosures, unpaid private investors, failed ag tech, and bad system design or implementation will eventually erode opportunities even for farmers who have a strong will, better market understanding, and greater flexibility to implement their strong business. This is a very challenging profession, and we need to give ourselves every advantage. That may mean a drastic shift in the way we do things. It also means supporting one another. We are anticipating agricultural leadership to emerge from our specialized skill sets. There will be immeasurable compounded lessons to be shared and learned, as well as intellectual property you rightfully will want to pass on only to your legacy or sell to fund your retirement or next venture. We are not giving you an easy path. We're presenting an opportunity to put in the work in a focused way. We're also coming from a lot of experience making a lot of expensive mistakes. We hope to impart some wisdom in these growth failures and help reduce your potential mistakes and recover faster when you do make a wrong turn. Stabilize your home support system. Find your accountability partner. Develop a support network you can work with. Be a positive voice that represents us all well, and trust your gut. Later, in the case study portion of this book, we will show you examples of the new farmer. These are change makers and thought leaders in agriculture who we are fortunate to have witnessed grow in the last few years and have worked with in the past. These are the leadership examples we want to see replicated into a new industry standard. These are also examples of if someone has done it, so can you. We all need a little inspiration.